Morning, everybody. Before I start the show, I just want to check. Could you please type on your chatbot? Can you hear me clear? And then can you see three of us on your AV view? So could you please type on the chatbot? Just want to check before we start the event. Can you hear us or can you hear me clear with the voice, with the sound? And also, can you see us very clear on your AV view? Someone is typing. We just want to check before we continue. Further ado. Okay, I see four people. Yes, very clear. That's good. Without echo, I'm hoping. Okay, awesome. Well, good morning, Singapore, and also good morning to everyone anywhere because we love this technology. We can get around together. I'm hoping that there is someone who is in Indonesia, maybe, or there's a participant. I'm pretty sure Singaporeans are watching at the moment. My name is Muhammad Maulana Taufik. I'm your host today at the webinar dealing with the Dutch linguistically, culturally, and socially. Today, we are going to have this online event because this is the part of the online education fair study in Europe. I'm hoping that you are going to the website, check the university in the Netherlands and also the rest of the country in the Europe. I'm not by myself, but this morning I have Chris Sampson as local director, Language One Singapore. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Molly.
And also we have Fons van Oosterhout as director, Erasmus Training Center from Jakarta, Indonesia. Hello, Fons. Good morning.
Good morning, selamat pagi from
Selamat pagi.
Indonesia.
Of course. And as I said before, my name is Muhammad Taufik. You can call me Molly. I'm Education Promotion Officer from Nuffic, Neso, Indonesia. This morning is really special because we are going to talk about how to deal with the Dutch linguistically, culturally, and also socially. I don't have any Dutch or Netherlands background, so Chris and also Fons will help me out to give a little bit glimpse about the Netherlands, right? And also, guys, if you have any questions to all the participants, please type on the chatbot, and then after the presentation, we will discuss it, and also we will answer all the questions. Hopefully, the time is sufficient for this morning. Without further ado, Chris, this is your floor, so I will give you to Chris, and you can start the screen sharing.
Great. Thank you very much, Molly. Can you see it well?
I see very clear, dealing with the Dutch cover. There you go, Chris. It's
Great.
all yours.
Thank you so much. As Molly said, my name is Chris Sampson. I'm the local director of Language One Singapore, and Language One delivers Dutch language and cultural classes. So Dutch really is my thing, so to say. When you think of the Netherlands, you think of orange and maybe clogs, but there's so much more to it. Let's start. First of all, I'd like to tell you something about the geographics. We talk about the Netherlands. If we talk about the Netherlands, we talk about usually the country of the Netherlands in Europe, but it's a kingdom with 4 countries. There's a European part and a whole Caribbean part. So the islands of Aruba, Curacao, and Saint Martin are the 3 other countries of the Netherlands. And then there's 3 special municipalities of Bonaire, Saba, and Saint Eustatius. The Netherlands is 41,000, a bit over 41,000 square kilometer, which basically means that we fit into Russia 411 times. It's not that big. It's the 4 countries. The Netherlands have so the country of the Netherlands, I should say, has 12 provinces and those 3 special municipalities overseas. The capital is Amsterdam, in the yellow part, the yellow province of North Holland. And the political capital, the place where our government houses, is in The Hague, in South Holland, the red province. Now, there's a bit over 70 million inhabitants, which is 411 people per square kilometer. That's quite densely populated. I think we're number 29 on the list of all countries of densely of the dense of the population. So far, the geographics. Let's get into the language. You see this lovely linguistic language family tree. Now, the upper branch is all about the Germanic language, and that's where Dutch is in. It started with Germanic, it became West Germanic, Low Franconian, which is also called Old Dutch, and then there's Middle Dutch. And it's important to know that, because why is the language called Dutch and not Netherlandish? That is because Middle Dutch they used to call Middle Dutch back then, Diets. So Dutch is the literal translation of Diets. There is also Deutsch. Now, Deutsch is German for German. So don't confuse these two. It's two different languages. Dutch is Netherlandish and Deutsch is German. Now, the Netherlands have other languages as well. Officially, we're even a bilingual country, because in the north of Holland, and I quickly go back to Friesland, the green upper bit, Friesland has its own language, Frisian, it's called. A bit over 2% of the Dutch people speaks Frisian. It's taught as a subject at schools in Friesland, not really in the rest of the Netherlands, but it is an official language. Now, there's some acknowledged regional languages like Neder-Saxisch and Limburgs that are spoken in the east or the south. And there's many, many dialects. Don't even get into learning all these dialects, because, there's no point. The majority of the people speaks Dutch, and us Dutchies don't usually speak any of the other dialects. So, if you look at this world map, you see where Dutch is spoken in the world. Of course, it's in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the European parts. That includes Flanders, which is the northern bit of Belgium. They speak Flemish there, and Flemish is the same, really, well, basically, as Dutch. And Dutch is also spoken in the Caribbean, the Dutch Caribbean. And below that Caribbean part is the country of Suriname. It's a former Dutch colony where Dutch is still spoken. Now, in Africa, it's spoken, or they speak Afrikaans, which is very closely affiliated to Dutch. And in Namibia and Zimbabwe, there are some Dutch speakers as well. This part of the world, in Singapore, not in Singapore, but in Malaysia and Indonesia, Bahasa has a lot of Dutch words and vice versa. So Dutch has a lot of Bahasa words. We get to that later. It's because of the colonial past of the Netherlands. So I think the elderly in Indonesia and Malaysia, they might still speak some Dutch. The stripy bits of the world is where a lot of Dutch people migrated to around 1900, and later after the Second World War to find their luck, really. Right, Molly, can I ask you a question?
Sure thing. Go
Have
ahead.
you got any idea how many people speak Dutch worldwide?
I would say plenty, because as you said before, we do have similar or the same words. So yeah, we can count like a lot of people can speak Dutch, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. It's actually about 24 million Dutch speakers. Well, if you look at 7 billion, I think 24 is still a decent number. 24
There you
million.
go.
Yeah. Who knew? Well, this is a blank slide, but there's more to come. Because you, maybe newcomers to the Netherlands, should know a couple of things about the Dutch language, and there's many things to tell. So this is just a few. We've picked a few. In Dutch, there's a lot, like in any language, I should say, there's a lot of proverbs, verbs, of sayings, of figurative language. Now, the Dutch think, and they do, I think, but the Dutch speak English quite well. But they also like to translate literally to English. Like this lovely saying, make that the cat wise. Molly, any idea what it means?
Okay, if I can guess literally, I would say do not make a fool with the cats.
Do yeah, yes, but it's as it's figurative language, it's not literally.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. Maybe people can type in the comments. Maybe they have an idea, and then we can get to it too, at the
Yes,
end.
I will invite them all.
All right, thanks. So there's a lot of proverbs in Dutch language, and you should know it because if they talk in a figurative way, you probably don't have a clue what they're talking about. If they're talking about looking a horse into his mouth or pulling a cow out of the ditch, it's all figurative. We don't really look horses into their mouths or pull horses out of the ditch, unless maybe we're farmers. The second one, another funny, peculiar thing, I should say, about Dutch is the use of diminutives, verkleinwoorden, we call them in Dutch. Now, this lovely Dutch cup, it's got a mail, it's got the old houses from Amsterdam. This cup, it's not a small cup, but we would still say, come on, let's have a little cup, een kopje koffie. Another thing, like 3 examples. Ga je mee een biertje drinken? Biertje is a small beer. Well, if you go after your lessons at the university and you go drink a biertje with your friends, it usually isn't a small one. We say, oh, what a cute childie, like a little child. And also, I'll make a little list. It doesn't matter how many things are on that list. It can be 3 pages long. We would still call it a little list, een lijstje. Another thing, we've got a lot of borrowed words from other languages. Now, I've chosen a few randomly. The first 3 are from Bahasa, really. Brani, courage. Berkeley, maybe my pronunciation is probably wrong, but Berkeley, bakkeleien, like fighting, snatching. And you have to be pinter to go to university in the Netherlands. Smart. Now we've got a lot of words from French, portemonnee, magazine, computer from English. But there's a lot of words you might actually recognize. Right. Some things you shouldn't miss in Dutch. We like gezelligheid. Something can be gezellig because there's a lot of gezelligheid. Now, I've never, and I've actually looked into this years ago, there's no word in another language that means the same. There's similar words like cozy or gemütlich in German or senang maybe in Bahasa, but there's no such words as gezelligheid. We are very fond of gezelligheid, like a pleasant environment. Goedemorgen, goedemiddag. It sounds like you're being shot. You're not. This is just our way of saying good morning and good afternoon. No one is going to shoot you. There's no throat issues with all the It's just the way we pronounce the G. Same with hoe gaat het? How are you? Very basic language. And this is a funny one as well. Lekker. Now, lekker actually means tasting good. So food is lekker. But nowadays, an activity can be lekker too. So it's like nicely. Have you sported nicely? Like, have you studied nicely? Lekker. They can actually ask you. So if you say to someone, hoe gaat het? Someone can answer with lekker. And it's got nothing to do with taste. Right. This is just a very brief overview of specific Dutch things in the language. Now, why learn Dutch? Why learn Dutch, Molly?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for me because I work for Netherlands Education Support Office. I have to. But the most important thing, I would say it's easy because, again, some words are similar and the same.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's like any other languages. Languages aren't super hard to learn. It's just an investment of time and effort, like anything. But the real reasons to learn Dutch are as follows. 75.2% of the international students who study in the Netherlands at the moment find it hard to integrate and to connect or like relate with their Dutch peers. And that's such a pity. This comes from the annual International Student Survey from last year, 2019. And one of the quotes I found in that research is almost my entire study is with Dutch students, yet I barely speak to them. I find it very hard to become close to them. How sad! It's such a missed opportunity. They're actually quite nice, the Dutch. Another one, almost 25, and this is important as well, I should say. Almost 25% of the international students who studied in the Netherlands, they still live there 5 years after graduation. They got hitched to like a blunt giant or giantess. They got hooked and they stayed. You need to learn the language because also Dutch is required as a strong language for the vast majority of the jobs. So if it comes to you and to a Dutch speaker, you are probably very interesting for a company because you speak more like various languages. You've got an international mindset. However, if you don't speak the language, they will still choose your Dutch equivalent. So that's something you really should think about. If you go to the Netherlands, learn the language. It's easier to relate to your Dutch peers. There's quite a chance that you stay hooked really with the Netherlands, that you never leave again. Not soon. So just learn the language. And if you want any career perspective, you need it. Now, and to end my part of this webinar, I would like to show the following very cheesy, well-known quote, but it's so true. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. From Mr. Nelson Mandela. Right. Molly, I hand over to you, but I should introduce you first to this video Molly will show us. It's a bit of a footage with Dutch street talk with the courtesy of Easy Languages. There you go. Over to you, Molly.
Thank you, Chris. Could you please stop screen sharing because I'll do the
yeah.
same thing.
That would come handy. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
Hallo, goedemiddag. Hoi.
Goedemorgen.
In het Nederlands zeg je ja, ja. En in het Nederlands zeg je nee, nee. Dit is heel goed.
Ja, dat is slecht.
Ik wil het.
Ik wil het niet.
Ik hou van het.
Ik vind dat leuk.
Nee, bedankt.
Ja, ik snap het.
Het is heel warm.
Het is koud. Ik moet daarheen.
Wat moeten we nou zeggen dan?
Vandaag.
Gisteren.
Altijd.
Tot morgen. Goedenavond.
Ik begrijp het niet.
Sorry, excuseer mij.
Spreekt u Nederlands?
Begrijpt u mij?
Wie ben jij?
Ik ben een toerist. Spreekt u Engels?
Wel te rusten.
Ik kom uit Holland. Ja?
Ja? Hoe gaat het met jou? Alsjeblieft.
Wat is uw naam?
Mijn naam is Anneke. Het is mooi weer.
Het weer is niet zo mooi vandaag.
There you go. So we have watched the video, and then now it's time for me to present another guest speaker, Fons van Oosterhout, as the director of Erasmus Training Center in Jakarta, Indonesia. Hello, Fons. Could you please unmute the microphone? Just unmute. Okay, could you please say something?
Yes, can you
Yes,
hear me?
now I can hear you. There you go, Fons. The floor is yours.
Great. So you can see also dealing with the Dutch continued.
Yes. No, you haven't screen sharing. Now it's time for you to screen sharing first.
Okay, let's do that.
Yes, please. Yep.
Yes,
Reading.
almost
And
there.
count 1, 2, 3. I can see very clear. The floor is yours.
Very good, very good. And great to be here. And good morning to you all. Good morning to everyone, all our viewers in Singapore, all our viewers, of course, in Jakarta, Indonesia. Good morning. Chris was mentioning why learn Dutch, and I think if you ask me as a Dutchman living here already for 8 years in Indonesia, why do you learn the language of a country where you live? Is to make friends and to make good friends. And Molly, I expect you soon to the ATC to make better friends and 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 probably it will work. It will help you as well in working at the Neso. Okay, we're going to talk about the cultural side and the social side of it. But before I just introduce myself, my name is Fons van Oosterhout, and I lead here the Erasmus Training Center here in Jakarta. We have around 1,200 students learning Dutch. We do academic preparation, and we do also a preparation for Indonesians, especially from Bahasa to Dutch, who wants to go to the Netherlands for work or even inburgering. And so we are here in Jakarta preparing especially Indonesians to go to the Netherlands. And the language is a very big part of that. Okay, so before I talk about really going to the Netherlands, it is very important to know you go to Europe, yes, because Netherlands is part of Europe, and most, I think probably you all know, Netherlands is a small country. Huh? Chris showed it to you before in the northwest of Europe. We on the one side we have Germany and Belgium as our neighbor countries, and the other side there's the North Sea, and there is of course the UK. Going to Europe, why is that important? Because it is an entry gate to Europe as well, like Singapore or Jakarta is an entry gate to Southeast Asia. And it's good to know what are the advantages of this. Huh? You probably heard about the EU, the European Union. So this is a union where economics and of all partner nations and also political systems are aligned. But most probably better for you to know is we are part of the Eurozone. That means all those countries, 19 out of 27 EU countries, they use the euro. So you don't have to change money all the time if you want to travel in Europe. And we are also part of the Schengen area. So that means you have no borders. Yeah. So if you see here, this is the European Union. All blue countries are current members. Yes. And yeah, well, of course, we had Brexit, so the UK is out. And we have the Schengen area. So that means that you can, if you enter the Netherlands, so this is the small country of the Netherlands, then you have in the south the Belgium, and here you have Germany. So if you want to travel and explore Europe, you can do that, and you can cross borders without checking, and there's no border control in the Schengen area. So although the Netherlands is a beautiful, beautiful country, it's also a great opportunity being in the Netherlands to explore Europe. Like I have now the opportunity to explore Southeast Asia. It's a bit difficult now, of course, in the COVID times, but most probably and hopefully those times will change. Um, so I just about what is now typical Dutch, and this is a personal opinion, and this is also from my own experience. So being on time is a very important Dutch virtue. Being on time is very important. If you are going to study in the Netherlands, then yeah, the teachers and the lecturers are expecting you to be on time. Yes, and if you're not on time, yeah, they can even expel you from classes. So being on time is very important. So in a happy occasion, we have birthdays, of course, and it's very typical in the Netherlands. And every time I come back to the Netherlands and I have birthday parties with family, we sit in a circle, and this is a quite funny experience. We sit in a circle, we talk to our neighbors, the men talk about cars and all kinds of men stuff, and the ladies talk about their interests, and we sit all together and nice and cozy. And Chris already said, we call this gezellig. And in the movie you just saw, there was also a sentence about the weather. Lekker weertje, hè? Of there's always a talk about the weather, because the weather in the Netherlands changes a lot. Even though we are a small country, we have 4 seasons. So in Asia, you have a wet season, a rainy season, and a dry season. In the Netherlands, we have 4 seasons. So we have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And if you go to the Netherlands, you have to dress accordingly. In the winter, it's really, really cold. It's minus below zero. It's minus degrees. So so to experience that, it's a special. I can tell you now, it's a special experience to be in that situation. But you have to prepare yourself. Another typical Dutch feature is food. So, is there a Dutch food culture? Yes, but we are surrounded by so many multicultural layers in our country. Our food is also multicultural, but traditionally we start our day with a breakfast, ontbijt, we call that. That is bread. In the afternoon, we eat bread. Yeah, and here zie je een broodje kaas, and a little bread with cheese. And here you see krentenbollen. Those are little fluffy balls, bread balls with raisins in it. And for dinner, avondeten we call it. I put here a picture in of stamppot, but of course we have a lot of food from abroad. We have pastas. We are used to all kinds of foods, but traditionally we eat stamppot. So basically, what you see here, so we eat 2 cold meals. So for breakfast and middageten, and we are used to 1 hot meal in the evening. So in Asia, that's a little bit different, because in the afternoon here, for example, in Indonesia, you have a warm or a hot meal. Yeah, so be prepared for that. And hey, Molly, are you still there?
Of course, I'm
So,
watching really
what do
seriously.
I see here?
Okay, that's definitely sweets.
Yes, you're very warm, so to say. So actually, Molly, I'm going to explain this. These are beschuit met muisjes, and we eat this as at a special occasion, at the birth of a child. So then immediately, Molly, you see which one is which. So the blue is for
The boys,
the boys, yes, and the pink for
for me,
yes, for you.
for the girls.
For the girls. But Yeah, this is a typical Dutch treat. It is a Dutch biscuit with sugar-coated anise seeds, and so you come across these Dutch treats with special occasions. Okay. Um, Society and culture. Yeah, what can you tell about that? Um, we have, first of all, a very modern society and a multicultural society. And like Chris also explained, we have a colonial past. So we have been around in the world. And also, because of the European Union, we have a lot of people from the European Union in our country. And of course, we are a very open country, so we accept also a lot of refugees, of course. And we tick most boxes and most lists in the world if you talk about happiness indexes, academic life. It's a modern and multicultural society as such. Freedom of speech is very important in our country. Own opinion is a high value. English proficiency is there as well. It's the highest in the world. But if you come more to the eastern side of the country, it will be a more focus on Germany. But Dutch, of course, is very necessary in off-campus situations, of course. And if you want to make friends, if you go do sports together, and just in informal talks, and if you really want to have that biertje. The Netherlands seems open and informal. Yes, 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 it's all true. But there's some complex rules there. Flashy and showy behavior. Yeah, they don't really like that. Equality is very important. Yeah, so everyone is equal and deserves equal rights and opportunities, of course. That is about gender equality. That is by religious equality. That is in all these areas. And Dutch people like to be as normal as possible. Just a Dutch famous Dutch saying is: just act normal. That's crazy enough. Doe maar gewoon, dan doe je al gek genoeg. Okay. Greetings. What's up with the three kisses? Yeah, this slide I especially made because you come across some situations that you think, hey, why are they doing this? What's going on here? But actually, we are in COVID time, so the greeting is just with the elbow. So this is for you to read later on and just have your mind about this, huh? And women kiss women, men shake hands. But it's better to do air kisses and don't put that really wet kiss there. So if you want to know a little bit more about the latest about Corona in the Netherlands, just follow this link, please. And that also includes greetings. Yes, the greetings are now a bit different than normal. Okay. Academic environment and daily life as a student. I guess this is the most important, to give you some tips about this topic. You know, open yourself up, be brave, be proactive, and if you want to ask something, don't be shy, be confident to your peers and lecturers. And learn the Dutch, make a lot of friends. You need each other, yes, and not only social but also academically. The system in the Netherlands is in such a way organized that you will need to have a lot of study friends. Yeah, so you have to do assignments together. Be on time. We talked about that. Agenda appointments, very important. And yeah, be aware that the shops are already closed 6, also on public holidays. Sometimes, well, in most cases, it's very important to lock your bicycle. First of all, learn to ride a bicycle because that is our public transportation mode almost. And but lock it. You can put it here in Jakarta anywhere. It will not be stolen or anything. But lock it is very important. Asian shops, yes. For all Indonesian viewers, Indomie is here in Belanda. Yeah, in the Netherlands there's Indomie, no problem. But all kinds of other Asian spices and meals can be picked up in Asian shops as well. And very important tip, register as a student member because you get student discounts for almost anything in the Netherlands. So being a student in the Netherlands, you're entitled to discounts. Yes. So even for memberships at grocery stores or personal care are very much out there. So just go for those. Yeah. Find out what will suit you best and where you can get a good discount. Okay, this is the final tip, and this is the tip for anyone who is going to live in a student home. Traditionally, Friday night is a night out, and students like to sleep in, of course, on Saturday morning. And what will happen in most times on a Saturday, you're going to clean your house. Yes, you're going to clean your house. This is the time to clean everything. And you want to start nice and early. But you live in a student house, and that's not really appreciated as such. So please don't start vacuum your whole room or your cos or your room in the student house very early in the morning because everyone will wake up, of course. So this is just a practical tip for you to pay attention to. Okay, so this is up. I think my time is up for now.
Yep.
Is that true, Molly?
Yes, that's really true because now
Okay.
we are going to have question and answer session. So
Okay. Very well.
so could you please stop screen sharing, Fons, because I'm going to
Yes.
change into the Q&A mode.
Okay. But first, I want to thank you all for your attention, of course, and you will get this presentation later on, and you will see the different contact details of all the participants here as well.
Thank you.
I stop sharing.
Awesome. There you go. So yeah, because our time is really tight for this morning, I wish we had more time. We are still waiting for the questions from the participants, but I do have several questions for Chris and also for Fons. Yeah.
Okay, good.
If you are ready, I think I will start from Chris. So Chris, you mentioned about the other language is Frisian, right? One of your slide. Is there any kind of like a really different between Dutch and also Frisian language, or could you please give some example as well, the Frisian language or maybe dialects that you know?
Yeah, there's a big difference in between Dutch and Frisian. Frisian is actually closer related to English. If you look at the language tree, it's closer related to English than to Dutch. So hopefully they don't follow their UK friends into a Frexit, a Frisian exit, and they will stay part of the Netherlands. No, they will still be part of the Netherlands. No, it's very different from Dutch. And you can't really understand anything. If they speak Frisian, it's another language.
I see. Okay. We do have questions now from Francis. Now I will publish it. So this is from Francis. Can students work part-time while earning their degree? So whoever wants to answer it, please do.
Yes, it's very common, I would say.
Yeah, that is confirmed. They can do that. Yes.
Okay, because again, another information for Francis. As international student, of course, you can work. The regulation is 16 hours per week. But if it's during holiday, you can work full time. But please be mindful because again, the intention to go to the Netherlands is study. So it's better to focus on your studies. So don't work too much because again, it's not easy to study in a different country as well. It's really hard to catch up. Yeah. Okay, I think I will give another one more question. I think for you, Fons, because you are more social vibe on your presentation. What normally do you do during the what is it, the King's Day?
Oh, the King's Day. Wow.
Yes.
That's well. Actually, in the King's Day, the Dutch people get a little bit crazy, so to say, and we love the orange color at
Yeah.
that day, and we celebrate the kingdom as such. But yeah, it was it's a real Dutch cultural festival, where we celebrate being Dutch. And our royal family is going to designated areas, to a city, and then the whole city just presents themselves to the royal family. And there are festivals throughout the Netherlands. And when you say Kingston, King's Day of every Dutch inhabitant, there will be a smile on their face. But yeah, we really celebrate being Dutch at that day.
Okay, well, hopefully next year we are going to have celebration when this situation is getting better. Okay, I
Yes,
think this
please.
is the question for me. Another from Francis. What's the average fees in a year? So basically, for bachelor degree, around 6,000 euros until 12,000 euros per year. But for master's degree, around 12,000 euro until 20,000 euros per year. Okay, and then the very last thing questions because our time is up from Delphine. Are there any financial aid or scholarship for international students? Yes, they do have, but I'm not really sure with your what is it with your nationality. I think for Singapore, normally they do have scholarship from the university, but from Indonesian, if there is a Indonesian participants around here, yes, we do have what is it the scholarship as well. So basically, you can go to studyinholland.nl and then check their website to see the explanation about the scholarship and also financial aid. There you go. Because our time is up, I think, well, I know it's really, really short, but I'm happy to have you virtually, guys.
Yeah, I'm also very happy to be a part of this, and thank you all.
Yep.
And I hope everyone got a little bit of a glimpse of yeah, what it's like dealing with the Dutch, so to say.
Thank you, Fons.
I second that.
Okay, so hopefully next time I can see you all. Well, I always see Fons. Basically, we are around one complex. But for Chris, hopefully I can see you in person next time.
Yeah, hopefully, if
Yeah,
borders open again.
of
Well,
course.
well,
Be great.
hopefully
Thanks,
next
Molly.
time, we can talk Dutch, Molly.
Of course,
So
yeah. I have to learn. I have
I
to.
expect you here, huh?
Yes. Okay, so thank you so much for Chris and also for Fons and to all the participants. They already come to our webinar room. We'll see you again, and hopefully you can go to our website because the fair still continue. And then I'm signing off, and then we are signing off. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.